is to deal with corruption. And that I am clear in my mind. For you to fix corruption, you must not be corrupt yourself. Because the minute you steal, you are Judas steal as well. Because you cannot steal alone. As president, when you are allocating yourself tenders, you have to work with some fellows. And that is why you saw the other day, the PS for Petroleum, the CEO for Kenya Pipeline, the CEO for EPRA decided what to do what their boss was doing. They decided to import their own fuel to make some money as well, that he has been making. And he was so bitter, he sacked them and locked them up because they were competing for him in business. What we must do, we must deal with corruption. And let me tell you, I don't want to brag. I don't want to say that I am blameless. But I want to say that I've never been involved in corruption. If I had done any corrupt deal for the 2 years I was deputy president, I would be in prison today. William Ruto has tried to look for a fault in my life. He cannot get any. He is so frustrated. He has sent investigators to turn my life upside down to find out whether I've ever stolen anything. He cannot get anything. If I had dipped my fingers into the public coffers and stole even $500,000, I would be committed today. He is so frustrated that he tries to look for a fault for me because I have stolen nothing and he cannot get me imprisoned. He now goes to social media to listen to gossip. All he can say is what he is reading from what my adversaries are saying in social media. Oh, Rigiji impregnated a girl 9 years ago. Because there is nothing against this man. The man is white as snow. He's nothing. The other day he went to try to look for my relatives. Our brother died 9 years ago. We did succession, we finished. Everybody got his share. They have eaten all the money and finished it. There is nothing remaining. He looks for them. Oh, I can help you to recover what was sold. And it was sold, they were given the proceeds. Because there is nothing against me. I'm trying to say, I can be trusted to deal with corruption. And if you want to know I can deal with corruption, just see how frustrated William Ruto is. The other day they went to Banyani. They looked for a criminal who was jailed there for 20 years, a robber, and told him to say that he is the son of my late brother. Nobody knows him. We have never seen him. In my late brother's will, he was not there. Even looking at him, he doesn't look like us. The fellow is saying, you know, this William Ruto, I think he is too confused. The fellow is saying, Rigiji organized for me to be jailed because my father had died. And he had left secrets with me. And Rigiji wanted those secrets. So Rigiji organized I be jailed for 20 years. Now he is saying those secrets was given by his father when he died. Now this man was jailed in 2013. Gachagua was governor in 2013. He died in 2017 here in London. So you know these are people who are lost completely. And he is saying it is State House people who came and DCI and told me if I say something wrong against Rigiji, they can help me to leave prison. I'm still in prison now. They have not helped me. I'm saying, if I was involved in corruption, I will not be here today. I'm a clean man. I'm the man to deal with corruption in Kenya. And that answers your question. We don't have a challenge. Our challenge is corruption, conflict of interest, and state capture. Once we deal with that, Kenya will move on and move on well.
We've also had the response in terms of economic sustainability. If you have a question outside of that theme, please raise your hand. And then the black cap. One behind, yeah. Him first. Yeah.
Your Excellency, Rigiji, Second Deputy President of Kenya. Mama Dolcas, karibuni UK, karibuni Swindon, and everybody else who is here, feel welcome. I just wanted to piggyback on...
Say your name.
Sorry, my name is Peter Kinyua, nimetoka Kiambu County. So, I wanted to sort of like piggyback on your question, what you just really labored about, corruption right now. I do believe you, and we want the united opposition obviously to win because we can see what's going on right now in Kenya. But this problem has been there like since independence. We know like obviously including like the government of like Kenyatta Mzee, Moi. We see like we saw like time ya Kibaki. We saw like what happened. There was a glimpse of hope, including like we had like people like we had like citizens arrest and stuff like that, arresting matatus and I mean, so we thought that was we were turning a curve then, but that did not happen. And then we saw like during the Uhuru government. In fact, I do remember a speech
from His Excellency the Uhuru. He casted like a really dark, saying like we losing like it was it 2 billion or something like that, like every day, and he said like he cannot do anything. Okay. Can we get to the question, please? The question is,
what is your question, my friend?
What is the silver bullet that we got that all those people did not have?
What's the question?
Thank you. I hear you. What he is saying is that there have been successive governments with so many promises and no change. So he is asking, how shall we do it differently? I want to correct you. It's true there has been many governments that have let people down. But let us admit, between 2002 and 2012, President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of the Republic of Kenya, made a difference in Kenya. And that gives us hope that with a leader who knows what he is doing, Kenya can go places. During the reign of Mwai Kibaki, tents were put outside banks for Standard, for Barclays, for Equity, for Cooperative, with some nice looking girls with brochures, pleading with you to come inside the bank and get money to go and do business. You remember? Yeah. Banks were hawking loans. The economy was performing, that banks had too much money, they didn't know what to do with it, and they were asking Kenyans, please come and talk to us, we have money to give you to do business. If you do remember, a government document called LPO, LSO, a contract from government, was a respected document. During the time of Mwai Kibaki, if you got a government contract worth 20 million shillings to do a government contract, you walk to a bank or microfinance, they gave you 50% against that document because they knew You do the work and get paid and pay the bank. Today, if you go to a bank with a government document to a bank, you'll be arrested. Because nobody is paid. Pending bills today are in excess of 900 billion. People who have done work for county government, national government, they have not been paid. Their homes are being auctioned. Families have broken. Wives and husbands are not seeing eye to eye because of problems. Many people are in depression. Others have committed suicide because of pending bills. We want to restore the Kenyan document, government document, to what it was during the reign of Mwai Kibaki. It is Mwai Kibaki who brought the revolution called M-Pesa. For financial transactions, cashless, with ease. It is Mwai Kibaki who brought border. It is Mwai Kibaki who put up Thika superhighway. It is Mwai Kibaki who opened up the bypasses. During Mwai Kibaki's tenure, you didn't need to tell Kenyans that there is economic growth, that the economic survey is saying there is no inflation. Oh, the economy is growing by 7%. Kenyans told you the story. They could feel the impact of the economy. That is what we desire. So I don't want you to give up to say that there have been successful governments and they are not working. We have a government that worked. And we are saying, even if we don't surpass what Mwai Kibaki did, for heaven's sake, Rigiji, why don't you restore Kenya to what it was during the reign of President Mwai Kibaki?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Can I kindly ask that we diversify our questions so that Her Excellency can answer varied questions? I just want to bring the chap with the black cap because both of you are sitting next to each other and I got you confused. So, step up. I will change gender. Correct. Thank you very much. I will change. A lady who has a question, you'll be next. The lady here, you'll be next. Sure.
Kindly, may we keep our questions simple and crisp, please.
Am I audible? My name is Matiang'i. I'm from Thika, born and bred. Your Excellency, People's Deputy President, welcome to Swindon. I'd like to wish you and your legal team the best of luck in the impeachment legal battle that's going through. And I'm hoping the wheels of justice will vindicate you, because I think even a class 4 dropout will probably see some faults in the legal process. Wish you the best. My question, I had to write it, but just bear with me. Your Excellency, credible democratic processes are fundamental to national stability and public trust. In recent years, concerns have been raised around electoral transparency, fairness, and integrity of the voting process. Additionally, many Kenyans, particularly in diaspora, remain concerned about whether their votes are fully counted, protected, and reflect the election outcomes, alongside broader questions on the independence of institutions such as the IEBC and potential role of external influence in the electoral processes. What concrete measures would you put in place to strengthen free, fair, and transparent elections to ensure that diaspora votes are fully safeguarded, counted, and reinforce the credibility of independence of electoral institutions in Kenya? And most importantly, how will you guarantee these processes lead to accountable leadership that delivers sustainable economic empowerment and poverty reduction for all Kenyans? Bearing in mind, you can see what's happening at the moment. There is really massive effect on this small business. Gikomba is going down, Githurai market is going down, and of course large people very vulnerable. A Juakali person earning £500 a day, if they are really given £3,000, they will sell their vote. That is a week's wage. Really, please promise us something to hold the people, at least give hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Guyai. It is true there are concerns about conducting a free, fair, credible, verifiable election in Kenya. There has been a lot of complaints about the conduct of the general election. You remember in 2017, the Supreme Court nullified the presidential election and they were repeated. It is true there are many concerns because, like the current IEBC commissioners, were picked in a bipartisan manner by William Ruto and Raila Odinga. And to a great extent, we have seen a lot of bias in the by-elections that have been conducted, especially in Bere and Malava. But I want to give you comfort. It was possible to steal elections in the yesteryears when voting was done in polling stations and ballot boxes were transported to the constituency tallying center. And many times they were swapped on the way. Many other times they were opened on the way. And there were many challenges. But since the electoral rules were changed, that votes are counted at the polling station, it has made interfering with an election almost next to impossible. What candidates and parties have to invest in are good agents. Because it's very difficult to interfere with the voting process in a polling station because agents are there, the votes are cast, the ballot box does not leave the room, and they are counted there and then and the results are announced. And you know the Supreme Court ruled that polling station results are final. We have challenges with the electronic transmission of results from the polling station to the IEBC tallying center at the national level. And that is something that we are working on. We have a petition before the High Court as we speak, asking that we follow the Constitution to the letter. The Constitution says there shall be a presidential election in every constituency. That means the presidential election is done at the constituency, the counting and the tallying should be at the constituency. That is similar to what happens in the United States, that you don't even need the chairman of IBC to tell you who has won. If the results of the president are announced in each and every constituency among the 290, the new president will be known by midnight. That matter is before court. But in the coming election, what gives me a lot of comfort, you can interfere with an election when it is neck to neck, when it's too close to call. Since these IBC commissioners are not impartial, we don't want to give them a role in interfering with the election. We want the margin to be so huge that there's nothing anybody can do. And that happened during a by-election we had in Narok Township, where DCP was doing very well. They tried to rig the election, but the gap was so huge there's nothing they could do. DCP won the election. We want to have a gap of 5 million votes against William Ruto, such that there is nothing anybody can do. But I agree with you, as we move on into the future, there is need to tighten the electoral rules. There is need to tighten the way elections are conducted in Kenya, so that every election reflects the will of the people, the sovereign will of the people, And the elections are not only free and fair, but seen to be free and fair, and they are also verifiable. We are preparing in Kalau so that even if they try to interfere, the gap will be so huge there's nothing you can do. That is the situation we are in. And finally, I agree with you, Guyai. Politics is a struggle for scarce resources. Elections and democracy is about scarce resources. Who gets what, when, how, and usually not why. So we need to fix our democracy so that we have got good governance, so that resources can follow people. You know, where you are more, you get more resources. And that is what we need to do in due course. Strengthening democracy is a process. We are a young democracy, and we are doing well, and will continue to improve. And that is why here in the diaspora, you have said it correctly, you need to engage IBC. We are going to engage IBC as well. You are Kenyans. You have a lot of stake at home. You are interested in the way your country is governed, and you should be allowed an opportunity to make choices on the people to lead you. And I agree, when it is in London, it is quite inconvenient to everybody, that everybody has to travel all the way to London. It's very expensive, there's congestion. So much as the diaspora is engaging the IBC, we are also going to have a forum and also raise those issues, that they need to create more polling stations within our overseas countries where Kenyans are domiciled in large numbers, so that you too can have an opportunity to elect the people that you want. And it should be expanded that it is not just for president. You should also be allowed to choose your member of parliament, your governor, your senator, your member of the county assembly, because those people also impact you one way or another. So those are things that we shall be following up together. Thank you, Guyai.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Because of time, we'll try and take just the last two questions, but I'd like to even move it further down to this side. Any lady from that side who has a question outside of what we have heard, kindly diversify the... Okay.
Your Excellency, hello. I hope people can hear me. Your Excellency, the People's Deputy President, yes you are, and Mama Boys, welcome to UK. Thank you for coming to listen to the crowd. My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Nyandarua County, so Ol Kalou is a personal interest, so I want that seat for DCP. I want to ask you about tax, that we are taxed when we send staff home. I believe people in this hall will agree with me that we can help our country with so much. Today, we were somewhere that we had a lot of wheelchairs, a lot of mobility things that can help people who have mobility issues in Kenya. Last year, I do a lot of charity, so I loaded a container of 20 feet, and I was helping a children's home that I'm proud to say. It's called Little Angels. It is in Nyeri County. The children's home, everything was theirs. So they applied for an exemption of tax. They were given by the Nyeri County. So I was asked to send this container, and I was told that the last exemption will be given by the Treasury when the container arrived in Mombasa. The container arrived in Mombasa, And lo and behold, the Treasury came back with a rejection and did not give me any reason as why it was rejected. So, People's President, I was snapped with a tax of 800,000 shillings. Now, my mom was very angry. She said, this is not something that you're bringing to pay school fees for your children. Is this charity of yours? And I was given a choice of abandoning that container so that they can divide themselves or paying 800,000. Apart from that, somebody conned me from the same KRA 170,000. So I paid 1 million Kenyan shillings because I wanted to help that home. I was very angry, and I believe everyone here would agree. If you reduce that tax for us, we have a lot we can do for that country. So I really hope it will be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I feel you. I'm aware, because even as I have traveled around the country, around the world, I was in the US, and I found that there are some hospitals that utilize their equipment for 2 years only. They are brand new and they would like to give them out for charity. But our government has made it almost impossible, because when you get items and equipment that can help a children's home, and you want to help and then you ask to pay 800,000 shillings, it's very, very unfair. I have been thinking about it. In fact, I was discussing it with Reverend Dorcas last night. That particular matter, that our new administration will have a deliberate policy to set up a committee chaired by the National Treasury, members from our churches, and other organizations that do charity work, where before you import goods, you'll be able to give the particulars to that committee. That committee will check that information. It will go and have an inspection of the intended beneficiary of the charity donation, and once that is confirmed, before you ship the goods, you are given the go-ahead. Yeah? I really find it very, very unfair that people out here in the diaspora with serious connections find very useful donations that our country cannot afford, and they want to send them home to help the people they left behind, and government has made it almost impossible. It's really very, very unfair, and it's really lack of empathy. It's lack of humanity. You know, even as we run government, of course the government is not a human being. It has no feelings. It's an abstract thing. You cannot pinch it, it cannot feel pain. But within government there are people. People should be able to have empathy, should be able to behave like human beings. In our manifesto, we're going to include that we are going to create a body that will be receiving proposals of people out here who have certain goods that they want to bring to help home, not to make profit, not to sell, and do the inspection. The purpose of that committee is also to avoid people taking advantage. You know, because Kenyans are also crooked, you know that. Our people are also not very straight. They may also want to use that to bring goods without paying. So there must be a connection. There must be a connection where you will declare the goods, where they are coming from. Then the institution that is receiving them is inspected, and then they sign a certificate that they will receive those goods, and the goods will be in use. And then they will give what you call an indemnity. that in case an inspection is done and it is found those goods were not received, they will be able to pay the duty that is equivalent. So there must be a way working around it. Yeah, and in fact, we were discussing it with Reverend Dorcas last night, because we also have people we have visited and they want to help, and it's difficult. And I think that is one commitment I want to give, and I want you to hold me to account, Elizabeth. Yeah? Next year in December, if it doesn't happen, yeah, I have a farm in Shamata, you can walk there and look for me. So that as we wewe kiongozi ulikuja ukatuambia mlichaguliwa mwezi ya 8, sasa ni December, wapi ile maneno ulituambia? I want to be held to account. One last one. Another lady, the men were too many. We have to be gender sensitive.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency and Mrs. Dorcas. Thank you very much. My name is Bridget Mainge. Bridget Mainge from Kiambu. A health professional in this country. Reason I'm standing is to raise issue of concern about our health in Kenya. People are dying because of cancer and people cannot meet the bills. What do we have in place that will stop corruption in the hospitals to help people who are suffering to get the right service? On another issue, I'm a mental health clinician, and I would want to know, what are we doing? You have talked about depression, alcoholism, time and again, and you have mentioned of suicide deaths that we are experiencing on a daily basis. I raise mental health awareness in Kenya because of the passion, and I do it here within our community. I met Mama Boyce when she had an event at Oresereni. We didn't talk much, but it was all about saving the boy child. What are you planning to bring in place? We have professionals here who are willing to come and volunteer, but again, there are areas that are made so hard for us to come and volunteer. I do it, it's a volunteer thing, and would like to get a place where we'll be able to support people the best way possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's true, the disease of cancer is ravaging homes, leaving homes in destitute. Homes that were once standing are left without anything, and the patient dies. Every weekend we have harambis to raise money for cancer. And cancer is a very expensive disease. And I've personally gone through it. My late brother died here in 2017 because of pancreatic cancer. And I was here for almost 2 years, and we spent millions of shillings, but we didn't save him. Now, cancer was isolated cases here and there. And that is why it was having stigma then. It doesn't have any stigma anymore. It's a way of life. Homes are devastated. When we took government, we had made a promise that we will reform NHIF to be available to all Kenyans and take care of chronic illnesses. Because again of corruption, conflict of interest and state capture, we needed 800 million Kenya shillings to reform NHIF to make it compatible with modern times. But Ruto decided he needed to make money, did away with NHIF, and brought a monster called SHA at a cost of 104 billion Kenya shillings. We have checked, the system cannot cost more than 1 billion Kenya shillings. So they have stolen 103 billion Kenya shillings. and SHA is not working. All those patients suffering from cancer and other chronic illnesses are on their own. We intend to go back to factory settings, find out where we left NHIF, reform it properly, have people like yourselves who have health insurance schemes that are working. You come and tell us how it is done, because it's working elsewhere in the world. There's no reason why it shouldn't work in Kenya. So that is something we intend to do, and I can tell you the Kenyan people are crying. One of the reasons why William Ruto is in trouble with the people of Kenya is a failed health system. People don't want to see him. Him and Duale keep on saying SHA is working. People just stare at him and wonder which country he's talking about. We are having a serious problem with our health system, and more so insurance for health purposes. So that is something that I think we must work on, because health is a priority for any country, for any nation. For a country to prosper, you need a healthy nation. So I want to give you my commitment that we are on it, and we'll borrow insights from people who have seen it happen like yourselves to make it work. We have serious challenges, the way you have said, on mental health, matters depression, drug addiction. I tried to do a lot with the Mama Boys when I was in office. At least I was able, to a great extent, to deal with illicit brews, and was 80% successful. You know, people had become sober, and young people had started having families. And I was dealing with prevention. Reverend Dorcas was dealing with addiction, people who are beyond prevention. She had several programs, and she helped many young boys. Unfortunately, when we left office, this alcohol was allowed to come back. The president appointed 2 drug barons into the cabinet, you know them. One from Kiambu, the other one from Coast, you know them. I don't need to tell you their names. These are drug barons. They sit in cabinet, where our government is supposed to deal with the drug abuse, but 2 ministers deal with the drugs. I'm told even one of them is campaigning to be deputy president. So you can imagine a president who is a thief and a deputy who is a drug baron. What kind of country we would have? So we have a serious problem, but again, we need political goodwill. I foresee a situation where once we form government, we'll discuss with the county governments so that in every level 4 hospital in the country, there is a ward dedicated to rehabilitation of people who are addicted to drugs. You know, just like the way we are having a wing to deal with accidents for border. You know, because border is an issue. They have too many accidents. Every hospital has created a ward to deal with border accidents. We are saying even now, people addicted to drugs is a serious problem. So we should have a ward. I agree with you, it's something we need to think through with my team, with help from the diaspora people. How do we create a mechanism in our country where people who are experienced in the health sector can come and give services when they come home and transfer knowledge and technology to our people? It's something we need to think through, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's doable, where we can create an exchange program that we have our registered health workers across the world, and we are saying when they come home, they inform the government in advance. They give a choice of where they would like to work near home. If you are from Kiambu, you work there at Kiambu Level 5 Hospital. Come and give a contribution to home where you come from. I think it's food for thought. There is need to work on that one. We create that framework and that mechanism because I think it's a good thing and I think it's doable. So asanteni sana. Thank you very much. Asante.
I just want to say a huge thank you to Your Excellency just for engaging with us very openly, transparently, and making a lot of promises and commitments to us. I'm sure we can all agree that we feel seen, we feel heard, and we feel acknowledged as diasporans. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Asante sana. Nimeona mlikuwa na maswali mengi, si ndio? Lakini silitarudi. Sasa nikijibu yote, next time nitajibu gani? Si tuende pole pole. So at least we have answered those ones. When we come next time, I'm telling you, I've left here a better person. This listening to people is everything about leadership. How will you know these things unless you listen to people? You sit here in those big offices going around with the chairs, the red carpet, nini na watu wamekuzunguka wanakudanganya, oh king, you are the best, oh nini, people love you, people are very happy, na ni uongo. But I think when now the issues you have raised here, like that issue of equipment and items for charity and the way to deal with it so that people can be able to harness resources for charitable work, it's an important thing. That issue of mental health. These are great ideas, and I'm very grateful to those who have contributed. I want to say thank you. I've left here a better person than when I came. And what you have told me, what I have learned, will inform my leadership, and it will make me a better leader. And I think you'll be very happy one day when you hear a policy pronouncement has been made that is directly an answer to what you raised. You feel very happy. You feel very happy, and we'll do it, by the way. This public participation cannot be an exercise in futility. We cannot just be discussing here for the purpose of discussing. Something must come out of it. So once we get the opportunity to run government, most of these things we have discussed here, we'll agree with you, and you see it happen. And you will be very pleased that you had the opportunity to raise those issues. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki, and thank you.
Can we all stand up and give His Excellency a clap offering? Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your wonderful speech and answering of the questions. Now we're going to turn attention to Zangi. He's going to give us 1 or 2 numbers to warm up as we near towards the close. Thank you so much, Zangi. Take the space. Thank you. Excuse me, before Zangi starts, we have a few cars that need to be moved. I think some people are blocking others. So the first car that needs to be moved is OY59 UNP. The second car is M33 OTE. And the third car is MD16 VXR. And the next one is RK17 EKP. Thank you. Zangi, take the space.
Mheshimiwa Rigathigachagua, allow me to address you as Gachagua the 6th. Tuko na imani na wewe Gachagua, tumekusikia, sio siri, tunatambua Kenya itabadilika. You know, walipomuua Yesu walidhani wameshinda, kumbe badala yake kasonga mbele. Walipokutoa nje walidhani wameshinda, kumbe badala yake Gachagua kainuliwa. Gachagua umebarikiwa, wewe utainuliwa, vita utapiganiwa, wewe ni amani. Pastor, wewe ni baraka, baraka zaidi na zaidi. I wish ungejua